So, hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. We're here with Lilac Queen. We're going to ask them some questions. I'm going to start. What inspired you guys to start the band?
So what basically kind of happened is Doug's old band, they broke up, and he spent a couple different tries trying to make Lilac Queen happen. I think this was the third try that he had with Lilac Queen, and trying to get different people to work out in a group, and this was the one that actually ended up working out. We released our first song the day after his old band played their last show, and it kind of just blew up and progressed from there.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah, for me.
Yeah.
No, that's just like all it was. It's just kind of like transitioning to like a different, I don't know, just like a different band, I guess. Like I've always been trying to like create what Lilac Queen is, but it's kind of hard if you don't like trying to set the vision of what like I wanted Lilac Queen to be. But you know, as it just kind of like all worked out at the perfect time for like Lilac Queen to actually like hit all the pieces that I was trying to do for it. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So what is your writing process like?
It's usually the same. It's usually Doug comes to me with a bunch of like chords and a bunch of just random like words and phrases, and he's like, okay, I have these ideas now, actually put it into like a structured song. And I always tend to make like his like basic lyrical ideas really sad and way more complex, and once we have that all figured out, we bring it to practice, and the whole band just kind of fills in their own parts, and it just creates like a song. It's really interesting because it's like we never have like Colin or Billy or Jesse say like come up with any lyrics or anything, but their parts are very much what they've written on their own for the songs, and it's really cool.
All right.
We do like an acoustic version. Like we do all acoustic versions of our songs prior to us bringing it to practice. So we'll like record it on voice memos, and then I put it through like a DAW, and I like add reverb to it and add chorus and all these other little kind of effects that just kind of, you know, try to be like, okay, this is what this song is supposed to feel like. Can I just get some notes on parts that we can kind of change prior to it, and then we kind of like go from there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Build up on it.
So what was the first song that you guys wrote as a band?
So the first song that was written in general was Ouch, but that was entirely by Doug for the most part. The first song we actually wrote as a band, I want to say...
I think it was Wasting Time, wasn't it? I think it was...
No, Wasting Time was the last one we finished for the EP. I think it might have been... So we had like multiple rough drafts of Lorna. And like originally, like the riff at the breakdown of Lorna was actually under the chorus of Cemetery Sounds for a while. And I think the first song we actually ended up completing was Lorna, because we changed the entire way that Cemetery Sounds sounded, and we took a lot of the ideas from the original Cemetery Sounds and put it into Lorna. And then Lorna was all set for a little while.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I think that, like, I don't know, Ouch was definitely, like, I had written Ouch for my old band, but my old band just kind of, like, was ending, so there was really no point of me, like, trying to put all this effort into, like, you know, releasing one last track through my old band and stuff, so it was, you know, like, when we write as a group or whatever, we're a very, like, pull-apart band, like, oh, like, what if we just played... Like, as long as it's in the right key or whatever, we'll just, like, strip apart our songs and cut them up and place them in different places and stuff. And it's really interesting to see what the final product that we decided on it is, because we'll always, like, me and Lily will always joke back and forth, be like, oh, do you remember when we had it like this? And it obviously, like, it worked, but it wasn't as cohesive. So we try to make sure all of our stuff is cohesive, even though that there's, like, a darker or a lighter sound to it. So it's a move.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So what does the name Lilac Queen mean to you guys? Like, is there a story behind that? Or
So I named Lilac Queen because there's a band called Me Without You, and they actually have a song called Lilac Queen. And Me Without You is like one of my favorite bands. I've always just kind of like appreciated their like artistic style, where they're kind of like trying to label them within like a genre is just a very, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't say confusing to say the least, but they have like all these like very theatrical aspects about them that I've always just kind of adored. And I don't know, Lilac Queen to me was originally an idea with our old bassist in Lilac Queen that we were just starting like a shoegaze project, just being like, oh, that's just an easy name, but you know, it's off of the album Pale Horse, and I've always loved the name Me Without You. I always thought that was like one of the best band names I've ever heard, just because of like the way that I write specifically. But like like I obviously can't name like the Lilac Queen You and Not Me, because that's just completely blatantly ripping it off. Yeah. So I just was like, that song specifically has like this feeling that has it's like there's a lot of self-doubt, but it's kind of like looking for the future, and that's kind of why I went with Lilac Queen. I just like the way it sounds, if I'm gonna be honest. But it's if you listen to the song or whatever, it's like it's very beautiful. It has like a lot of different theatrics to it that even like lyrically, there's a lot of like philosophy-based thinking in it, and I've always just gravitated toward that song specifically.
Okay.
All right. So we're stuck in quarantine. What bands have you been listening to with all this time?
I've been listening to The Story So Far, La Dispute, Microwave, and Nothing. Non-stop. Like, those are the only bands I've been listening to this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, taste, I don't know. Lots of good bands there. So
I'm a little bit more DIY-y. I've been listening to a lot of Modern Color just because they released a couple new tracks for their new record that's coming out, and they're phenomenal. I've been listening to my boys in Kingpin just because, I don't know, Shoe City Hardcore is just where it's at. What else have I been listening to? I've been listening to a lot of Worst Party Ever, too, which I was really surprised when I found the Here Online EP, but it's like, I don't know. It's just so easy to put on because all of it's so catchy. Mm-hmm. But
yeah. So again with quarantine, have you guys been working on any new projects like songs or EPs, albums while you're stuck?
Yeah, so we've basically been able to write over half of a new album.
Oh wow.
Just in the last month or so. And like we sent like the acoustic demos to all our other bandmates so they can try and figure out their parts over quarantine, but it's almost done considering like how much we have content wise, which was really productive for us.
That's good.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Excited. So how else have you guys been staying busy while you're stuck at home aside from music?
I've gone on like a lot of walks and stuff. There's a cemetery down the street from my house. It's the cemetery that gave me the idea to name Cemetery Sounds About. And I've been going around on walks around there and just chilling out there for a long while. I've brought my dog down there too, just because it's a very big cemetery and it's very nice and peaceful, and it's like when I really need like a distraction from everything going on in quarantine, like there's a bunch of like Pokestops for Pokemon Go, even though that game is so dead.
Yeah.
I play it out there just because I like can.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
still
a lot of fun.
new.
Yeah.
I've been really like music oriented, like every day. Like I try to spend like a couple hours just because like, like I'm always trying to revise and redo stuff. I mean, I play a lot of Switch. My mom works at a hospital, so I try to leave the house as little as possible, like even going on walks and stuff, just because she's so directly in contact with COVID and I don't want to get any of my friends sick. Just even if I'm just like a carrier, I would hate to be the cause of somebody else's family members getting sick. So I've just been trying to stay away from everybody, but it's really hard for me just because I'm such a busy person anyway. So it's like it's really been like a complete 180 in my life. So it's just been me staring at the walls, just waiting for us to be able to get the okay to leave. So
Yeah.
I get that.
So, what has been your favorite part of being a part of the music industry or the DIY scene, if you want to call it that?
I think it was. It's still absolutely crazy how much support we got straight from the beginning, because we only released our first song in November, and pretty much the entire Massachusetts and Rhode Island music scene just backed us right away, and they all really loved us and gave us all their support. They started packing out shows and stuff right when we had our first show, right to like when we just played in Providence, the last show that we played, like that was also pretty packed, and it was really great to see everyone come and stand behind us and give us all their support, even though we had just started and we haven't been around as long as a lot of the other bands. And like I really, really appreciate that from all the people involved and like all the other bands involved and stuff.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That Alchemy show was crazy. Like it was our EP release show, and we already had people like yelling back our lyrics at us, and it was really cool because they were just like it's like our friends, you know what I mean? Like we've never been like these are our fans. Like these are just, everybody is our friend, and that's just the way that I always want it to be. Just because like I don't know, it makes me feel like uncomfortable when I'm just like, I don't know, trying to be like, oh, these are our fans. It's like, no, we're just friends. Like we're just all. You know?
Yeah. So when you're writing music, what artists are your biggest inspirations?
So it's so crazy. We definitely take a lot of aspects from Modern Color and Paramore, I'd say the most. But we also take a lot of influence from bands like Citizen and bands like Nothing. Like I take like my lyrical content and like the way I write my melodies from Jetty Bones, even though we sound nothing like Jetty Bones. And like there's like a lot of different songs that we have that take different influences from all these different artists and try and combine it into one.
Okay.
We label ourselves as a post shoegaze band, but it's, you know, we're trying to kind of like break the norms on like what like shoegaze kind of is, and then like I don't know, like I really like playing like riffs. Like I really enjoy being in like a post-hardcore band where I'm like playing all these like I want it to feel fun. Like the old band that I was in was like a very real shoegaze band, but it was like a lot slower and just a lot more doomy, and I want us to be able to, you know, write all these like poppy tracks, but still have like these like crazy, ridiculous breakdowns out of nowhere, but also still sound like Paramore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's trying to like operate and find these sounds that, you know, go a little bit further and go a little bit. It's like I always want us to be challenged when we're playing stuff, like always adding the pinky in for no reason and like, you know, driving ourselves a little bit crazy.
Okay. Cool. So what was your first concert like that you went to?
That I went to.
Yeah, if you can remember.
I when I was younger, I saw the Wiggles 4 different times.
Taste.
4 times?
Taste.
Yeah, because it was like
lucky. Oh my god.
It was like once I went for me, and then like my younger sister I went with, like for her, and like then like I had all these different cousins that went to see the Wiggles. Because they were at the age to see the Wiggles, even though I had already been like a little bit older. It was I don't know, I don't remember much about it. All I remember is like all the souvenirs and everything that I brought back home from it.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Do you still have any like souvenirs? Have you kept any?
I don't know. I could probably like go dig some up, but I don't know for sure if I have any.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
My first concert. So my mom was very protective of me as a young adult and early teenager. So I was not able to actually go to concerts until I turned 12. Wow. The first show I ever went to was No Guts, No Glory tour, which, you know, some of those bands are now canceled, but like it was me, Miss May I, Pierce the Veil, Let Live, Amity Affliction, and I think Woe Is Me. And that's the first time I've ever seen live music before, especially with like the vocalist of Let Live being as crazy as he is, like theatrical on stage and stuff like that. Like I was afraid. I didn't leave the steps of the Palladium. Like, you know how like there's like the down floor, but there's like the stairs you can stand on.
Mm-hmm.
I like didn't leave that. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go mosh. I'm gonna learn how to do that, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy scares me. But, like,
Yeah.
Let Live was like the best. Like watching that dude like literally hang from the rafters of the downstairs Palladium was just so insane for me, and I don't know. That was my first show.
Wow.
That's cool. Yeah,
Sounds
that's
like
a good lineup.
first show, dude. Yeah.
That's a good
definitely.
lineup. If you could go to any show, past or present, what show would you go to and why?
Ooh.
Like one we've played, or like one just attending, or like just like
Attending.
Yeah.
Like any show ever.
I think I would travel back in time to 2016 when I saw the Wonder Years, Real Friends, Knuckle Puck, Moose Blood, and Seaway. Even though, like, Moose Blood, they obviously have, like, a terrible rep and stuff. That show was incredible. Like, Knuckle Puck played their song Evergreen, and Dan from Real Friends had a feature at the end of that song, and he came out on stage to sing it, and in the process, one of the amps caught on fire, and I think it was one of the craziest things I had ever seen or experienced, but it was just so incredible, and I would do anything to see that tour again in specific.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, an amp on fire definitely sounds like fun.
Like an experience. Yeah.
Definitely.
There is a local band named Arrowhead that no longer exists, but they played this little sushi restaurant in Salem called Kodo, and there was all these other up and coming bands that were on it, like Funeral Attire and Arrowhead and stuff like that. But it was Arrowhead's last show, and that, if I could relive that show, that would be crazy, because you know, like you expect like a sushi restaurant, there's all these tables and everything all set up, and they have like a curfew that they need everything to end by, and they just like they kind of let Arrowhead just kind of like do whatever they wanted for the night because they knew it was the last show. But like, you know, Kodo shows usually get somewhere between like 20 people and 60 people, but there was like definitely 100+ people in this restaurant.
Holy shit.
Like I've never seen that many people just like pile into a sushi restaurant and just, I don't know, just eat the ceiling. Like people were just flying all over the place and stuff. And that was the coolest show I think I've ever gone to.
Yeah. Cool. It definitely sounds really cool. A sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't think that would be the scene for
a
really cool.
It's just like this little wooden stage that's like maybe a foot off the ground, and there's like just a pentagram hanging in the back. Like if you don't know what Kodo is, like you should just look at pictures just so you can understand it. Like it's just like people like you know how like at the Tsonga Center is like a big hockey rink, but in like all these like bigger shows or whatever, people are like back to back, like squished like sandwiches. Like having that, but in a small scale at a sushi restaurant was incredible.
Right.
Yeah, that just sounds really cool. Definitely. So, what would be your dream venue to play in? Like the top venue, bucket list venue.
I think I would definitely like to play the Palladium in Worcester, Mass. Or like maybe like House of Blues in Boston. Like I never want to get too big to the point where it's like I can't even like tell what's going on in the crowds because it's too big. Like I know I saw All Time Low play at like the Songus Arena in Lowell, Mass a couple times, and it just like after I started going to shows that were way smaller than that, it was never the same. Like going back to those big giant arenas to see bigger bands like that. And I think honestly just keeping it at like the Palladium downstairs, like 2,000, 3,000 people, that would just be super, super crazy to me.
I definitely think like the Brighton Music Hall or like Paradise Rock Club and stuff like that. Like kind of like to reiterate what Lily said, like playing like those big arenas and stuff like that is like super cool. But like I'm such like I like smaller scale. Like I like to be able to see what's kind of going on. Like I'm such a sucker for like house shows and stuff like that. But like obviously like, you know, house shows are pretty not sick for neighbors and stuff like that. So I would never want to like interrupt like a regular lifestyle. But like I think like, you know, like a smaller scale venue, like even like the Once Ballroom in Beverly or whatever would be
In
so
Somerville.
sick. Yeah. It's Somerville, not Beverly.
All right. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
That's a good question. Honestly, I have no idea because right now, like we just signed on with No Sleep Records, which is fucking crazy to all of
Yeah,
us.
congrats to you guys.
We never.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We like never expected to even get here in like a million years. So for it to be even less than like 1 year to get here, it's absolutely crazy to us. So I think if we could make it like around and like maybe even get up to the same size as like Hot Mulligan or Worst Party Ever or like some of the bigger bands on our label, that would be just absolutely incredible. And even if we don't get like super big and stuff, that's still crazy because we already made it this far.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I definitely back Lily on her statement on that. Like, I don't know if I can.
I mean, yeah, she said it all.
All right.
What is your favorite milk alternative?
I like oat milk the
Okay.
best.
All right.
Okay.
When I can't have access to oat milk though, I always go with almond milk, even though I know like it takes a lot of water to make almond milk and stuff, and oat milk is way better for the environment. Like sometimes I think I like the taste of almond milk better, but if oat milk is an option, I get the oat milk.
Okay.
I'm like, so like me and Lily both work at Starbucks. Starbucks. So when I make something cold, it has to be cold coconut milk. But if I make a hot drink with non-dairy, I do soy because steamed soy is like way better than steamed coconut milk. But like iced soy milk is just not the move. But like iced coconut milk is always the move.
Okay.
All right. So typically the segue here is we're going to shift away from music, but we've already done that. So if you were on death row, what would your last meal be and why?
With a drink.
Yes.
I would definitely eat a potato soft taco from Taco Bell and orange juice, and then I'd have a peanut butter as a snack. And that's like all I exist on anyway. So,
wait, like a jar of peanut butter?
Yeah, like literally. Hold on, like I can show you that I literally have like a jar of peanut butter like right here. Like
oh my god, you're living the life, dude.
That's great. I love that.
I literally am already on death row, so.
No! Oh my god.
I think I would probably get like just like chicken nuggets and fries from Wendy's with like extra of their sweet and sour sauce because it's like really good for some reason, and then I drink like one of the Starbucks honey almond milk flat whites because those are really fucking good, and then call it there.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Simple.
Yeah, very
simple.
But good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Good. So, if you could live in one fictional world, where would you live?
For a week.
For a week.
You forgot that part.
For a week. Yeah, sorry, for a week.
I was like, forever?
Yeah.
Forever. I mean, if you want it to be forever, but usually it's a week.
I'd probably just go chill in Hogwarts.
Yes. Yeah.
Just because like it would be cool to be able to do magic and all that cool stuff, and like I don't know anywhere else that I could maybe even tolerate besides something Harry Potter related.
I get that. Yeah.
I would definitely go and try to be like one of the members of the Avatar Last Airbender. Wow, the Avatar The Last Airbender like world. But I would only want to be a part of his crew because that just seems like wicked, like so much fun.
Wait,
And-
what? Wait. Would you bet? Would you be ice or is it? It's water, fire, earth, wind. Which one would you be?
I definitely would want to be water, but I just know
Yeah.
as a person, I am definitely like a firebender, like without a doubt.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like
Alright.
water just is so sick, but I just know for a fact that I would just be cursed and be pissed off the whole time that I have firebending and not waterbending. But
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't appreciate it for what it is. But
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That'd be a good storyline though. Like if you're in the show, you'd be like, God, I wish I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um,
Go Shane.
So this is the last question we have, maybe the most important. What's your favorite color?
Orange.
Orange. Okay.
Orange. Okay.
purple.
All right.
Purple.
Okay.
Cool.
Specific shades or
Like
all of
lilac.
them? Yeah. Okay, Glory.
Like
Sorry, I had to ask. I mean,
more pinky than lilac. Like a lot
Okay.
more pinky than lilac. But like it's just easier to use lilac because of the name. But
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. Cool.
But
Right.
So, is there anything you guys want to plug last minute?
I don't know. Listen to our EP if you haven't already. It's called If Only. It's on all streaming platforms, and we just remixed and remastered it for No Sleep Records. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was Lilac Queen, and yeah,